do this. Bum, bum, bum. All right, so if you are just now joining in, you'll need some hand weights. So we're going to start standing. Don't grab onto those weights just yet, but with those feet standing in parallel, I want you to start by lifting, lowering, catching the beat to the song. If you are listening to any music, lift, lower, 5, down, 4, down. Make sure that the feet are staying right next to each other for 2 more, not that the heels are sickling out to the side. Good. So give me one more good one. There we go. Now bring the heels together, toes apart into Pilates V. Keep the heels together as you lift, lower. Now bring awareness to your core. As you're lifting and lowering, keeping those heels together, you should feel the zipping up motion of the heels up all the way up into the belly button. So that core is drawing in, glutes are staying engaged, inner thighs are strongly activated here. For 4 more. Last 3. Final 2. Ooh. And 1. Good. Now bring your feet back into parallel, starting to work on balance. So just start by shifting the weight side to side. As you do, start to lift one foot up and step it a little wider apart from each other. Then start by pointing the toes. Okay, and then we'll add the arms into it. So as you reach up overhead, try to create a nice strong line from the fingertips to the toes. Lower, lift, lower, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here with that side bend, kind of like a star. Whoa. In that side bend position, slight bend into the knee. Reach the arm and the leg away from each other. Hand can be on the hip or reaching down towards the ground. And from here, bring the elbow and the knee together out in front of the body. If this doesn't feel good, you're right here, standing tall. Otherwise, that added oblique side bend is going to bring more activation through that side of the body on the top as you move the arm and legs away from each other. And a little bit on the bottom as well. I want you to feel like you're lifting up out of the hip, reaching away with the hands from each other. 2 more. Last one. Reach over and side, step and bend to the other side. Reach, pull, slight bend in that standing leg, adding that tension into the glute, into the top obliques as the elbow and the knee come in front of the body to touch. 4 more. Last 3. Final 2. Reach and then plant both feet down. Heels together, or not heels together, but heels pulled in, toes turned out. External rotation here. Now, as you start to lower down, I want you to reach the arms forward, okay? So it's just like our feet wide on the foot bar here. We're pulling the carriage in, we're pressing the carriage out and away. Okay? Down, up. Think 2 counts down, 2 counts up. We go down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. Inhale to exhale. Inhale, exhale. Try to keep the gaze forward. I always catch myself. Sometimes the cues that I give you guys are cues that I need to remind myself of. So we're all human. Nobody's perfect. Even your Pilates teachers, even though you think we are. Last 2. Last one, hold it at the bottom. Now from here, tiny pulses. This is just as if we were holding that carriage halfway in, those 1 inch down and up. So this engagement that you feel right here, I want you to make sure when you come into the studio and we're doing those pulses that you feel that burn already starting, okay? It's not that you're just like bouncing around, you're controlling it. Reaching the arms forward, bring them out. In 3, 2, we're gonna lift up and close, close, open, close, open. You know, it really helps that you have the music playing, so I really recommend it. 5, 4, pressing the feet away from each other, squeezing the shoulder blades on the back. Last 2, final 1. Good. From there, bring the hands up If you want to use your weights, this is when I would probably bring them into it because now the shoulders are warmed up. So I'm going to start by getting those weights into the hands, elbows up in front of the shoulders. Now, as you go back down into your second position, plie squat, you open the arms, exhale, lift and close. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Think Madonna Vogue. Close, open, or like you're playing peekaboo with a kid. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the arms down next to the hips. You go out and up, okay? Out, up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift for 5, 4, like you're trying to spread the earth apart with those legs. 2, and 1. Hold here, tiny circles forward with the arms. Check in again with your tailbone. Is it heavy? Down towards the earth. Are you controlling it from the shoulders, not the wrists, not the elbows, but the shoulder joint itself? 3, 2, 1. Go back. Can you get a little lower? 6, 5, 4, like you're punching out away from you through those knuckles. 3, 2, 1. Lift all the way back up. Good. Now give yourself a couple of neck rolls. Still just holding onto the weights, heel toe the feet together, parallel. And from here, roll the shoulders down and back a couple times. Maybe swim the shoulders down and back a couple times as well. From there, standing nice and tall, one ear to the shoulder, chin to chest. Other ear to that other shoulder. And back the same way you came. One more time. Good. Now, with just one of your weights in your hands, I want you to start by opening the feet to a little wider than hip distance apart. Start by reaching the arms out and away from you up overhead. Exhaling to bring them down across the hips. So pushing the ribs back behind you, lifting back up. So if you took Kelly's class yesterday, this is exactly what we did with the ring or your pillow or your ball. Starting small, and then when you're ready, roll yourself down to the right, lift back up to the left. Open the feet a little wider and try it again. Rolling down, tucking the chin towards the chest, reaching the arms away from you, letting that weight kind of hang you heavy, and then bending into the knees. Make sure the core is what's helping you back up. Let's bring it in the other direction. Reach away, chin to chest. Roll through to the other side. Good. All right. Now, with that one weight in between your hands like so, feet back together, hip distance apart, reach, and the knee pulls in. Exhale, inhale. So I'm going to show you what this looks like from the side. I'm not actively curling in on myself. I'm not going like this. I'm keeping the spine straight and lifting the leg with my core. Arms are staying straight out in front of me, almost like a single leg stretch. You want to reach the dumbbell away from you. So this is like curling in like that single leg stretch. So leave the spine tall and pull the leg in instead. Reach, pull. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. So we're still working on balance, but now we're getting into that core. Twist off to the right side of your hip, and then reach back up, lengthen the leg down. If it feels better to lengthen it out to the side, please do so. As you exhale, you come down to the right side, out of that hip, lift up. Exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen. Slight bend is in that left knee. Inhale to reach. Exhale to pull. Woo, work on that balance. If you need like a wall or a chair nearby, you can do this one-handed. So you're holding onto something, reach and cross the body. 5 more. 4. Last 3. Final 2. Take it to the other side. Arm goes up. Exhale. Spine stays straight as that knee drives up into the chest. Standing single leg stretch. That right leg is slightly bent. And as the arms are coming up overhead, make sure you're not popping the ribs open, meaning that you're not arching through the back just to get the hands behind you. You want to keep a nice straight line here as those arms reach up. 3 more. 2. Last 1. Good. Reach the leg out to the side as the arms reach out to the side. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. 6 more. Remember, if you need to, that other hand, the same hand as the leg that's underneath of you, is reaching out for that balance. Or this is pretty challenging here. Just hold the arm out to the side. Last 3. 2. And final 1. All right, put those weights off to the side. Start them off actually at the top of your mat here. And you starting at the top of your mat as well. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, roll yourself down towards the mat. Grow the spine long. Try to reach past the toes. Inhale, the spine will lift, and exhale, slowly curl yourself, rounding back up. So it's just like our roll up and roll down, but standing. So if you feel like you're anticipating a pattern that's approaching you, you're probably right. We're going to work on our roll ups and roll downs. So think of this as not just like a stretching motion, which it is, but it's also a core activator. One more time. We go down, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Walk the hands out into your plank position. In this plank position, we work on pulling the knee towards the chest. Think again, single leg stretch position. Or like a very slow mountain climber. Final 3, each side. 2, each side. 1, each side. Good. Pull back into a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees open wide. And kind of wag the hips side to side. With those arms reaching forward, tent the hands, meaning just the finger pads are on the mat there. And you can feel a little bit more of a shoulder opener if you do. If this does not serve you, reach the hands back towards the heels. That'll be better on the shoulders there. You still get a release through the low back and the hips. Good. Now swing the legs around into your seated position. And in that seated position, legs long. Make sure you have enough mat behind you and in front of you to work on that roll up, roll down. With those legs together, toes pointed or flexed, just as long as the legs are strong and long here. Reaching the arms forward. As you exhale, C curve down. So this is our roll down. We did this to stand tall. So think about yourself standing tall on your mat, reaching the arms up overhead. As you exhale, reach the arms back, tuck the chin towards the chest, belly button draws in, you lift up and over those feet. Inhale, spine tall, okay? So if that wasn't where you're at today, you can take one leg down with you, slowly controlling, so the leg is kind of pushing away from you as you control your way back. Once you feel like you can control, you let go of the leg. Leg lowers down. Inhale the arm up. Now, if you need some help coming out of that position, bring the other leg up and towards the chest. When the leg grows long, you push it away. It helps you to lift up. And then you lower over those legs. Okay, so that was the modification for our roll up, roll down. We'll do one more. No matter which one you're at, inhale up. And exhale. To roll back down. Make sure it's not a swing of the arms that gets you up. We roll all the way back down where we'll stay. Bring one dumbbell into your hands. Head rests down onto the mat here. Arms reach up and legs imprint the spine, then legs lift up into tabletop. From here, we reach up, lower, lift, lower, lift. Inhale, exhale. So if you can see from the side that the camera is kind of at an angle is where I'm reaching, about 50 degrees, not 45 because that would be like scraping over the shins, but I want to lift over the shins. As I'm lifting and lowering, my spine is staying imprinted, my belly button is staying drawn in, and my shoulders are staying down away from the ears. So they're not up here, they're down. Neck is long. 5. We got 4 more. Last 3. Final 2. and 1. Now lift the legs straight up towards the ceiling. You're still in your lift. Do not lower yourself down as you scissor the legs down and back up. Switching each time, each exhale. 5, 4. Keep yourself lifted like you're trying to reach up for those toes. 2, final 1. And 1. Bend the knees into the chest. Just rest the dumbbell on the shins and wave the legs side to side, rocking from one side to the next, kind of massaging out through that low back, the hips. All right. Now, chest lift yourself up. So remember, a chest lift is not a pulling of yourself up with your arms. It's the core that's working. So if I let go of my dumbbell, if it stops moving, I can hold myself in this position. So it still looks like I'm pulling myself with my arms, but it's actually a lift of the core. With the dumbbell between the hands, you don't have to use the dumbbell either. Bring the right leg down towards the ground. Left leg stays in tabletop. You reach off to the side and bring it back center. Off to the side, center. If you need to, keep the dumbbell in your right hand as you reach off to the left as the left hand comes behind the head. I'm going to stay here. This feels really good. This feels way better. And, if you're more comfortable in a position, you might feel that you get a little bit more activation through the muscles that we're looking for. Straighten the leg for more challenge. And here's your final challenge for this last series on this side. You lower the leg as you center the body. Exhale, lift hand and leg past each other. With the hand that's behind the head, make sure that you're not just cranking on the neck and tucking the chin in towards the chest. No, if anything, the head is pushing back into the hand while you're maintaining that imprinted spine. I've got one more. Bring the foot down, switch the hands to the other side. Right hand goes behind the head. Tabletop. Pulse. Down. I guess it's not a pulse. It's more of a lift and a rotation. Make sure that knee is staying right over the hip. Okay, it's not moving off to the side to make room for that dumbbell. No, the dumbbell moves off to the side to reach past the leg. Straighten the leg up. Really feeling it in those obliques there. Lower the leg, lift the leg. Try to get the dumbbell and the leg past each other. As they're moving, breathing, syncing it up with the movement. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Oh my goodness. Woo, that was great. All right, from there, grab onto both of your dumbbells. Lay the head down. So give yourself, maybe shake the head side to side, releasing any tension through the neck. Maybe the knees side to side as you release the tension through the hips and the low back. Okay. So make sure that this spine is imprinted, meaning it's not a pushing down or a clenching of the glutes to get into imprint. It's a softening of the belly button drawing in towards the spine, the ribs wrapping down. So try to breathe out all of the air and notice what it does to the front of the body. That front of the body smushes down so the back of the body can also smush down into the mat. Just kind of a heaviness of the lower back. Now, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling, hold them there as you lift one leg into tabletop and then the other. Now, so we're going to start with the modification start. We'll start easy and then make our way up. So as you exhale, I want you to reach the arms out to the side. Clap your hands or your dumbbells behind the legs. Inhale, lower the head back down. Clap the dumbbells over the heart. Exhale, lift, clap. Inhale, lower, clap. Exhale, lift, clap. Inhale, lower, clap. Meanwhile, the whole time you're doing this, the lower back is staying flat onto the mat, okay? So you stay right here, or if you feel like you want a little bit more, legs lengthen up towards the ceiling. Clap behind and lower back down. You can also get a little hip lift in there. Bring the legs over the head so you don't have to reach forward as much. Instead, it's more lower obliques that way. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe keep the head, neck, and shoulders lifted as now it's just the legs getting that tiny little lift of that roll over. It's not a roll over. It's just a tiny little engagement of the scoop of the pelvis of those muscles at the bottom of your core. Let's do 3 more. Last 2. And final one. Bend the knees, roll the head back down, and rock side to side. All right, good. Now place those dumbbells off to the side. There we go. Reaching the arms up towards the ceiling, place the feet down, working on our chest lift. So the hands go down, head, neck, and shoulders come up. Let's find those 100 pumps. You inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our halfway point. Lift those legs up into tabletop and see if you can maintain your position. If you need to, though, bring one hand behind the head for support. Make sure you're not lifting the head up. If anything, the head is pushing back. Take it one step further. Legs lift up towards the ceiling. Pilates V. Heels connected, inner thighs connected. Maybe you inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, keeping that imprinted spine for 2 more rounds. And 1 more round. Pull the knees into the chest. Rest and rock side to side. Alrighty, let's roll onto the side here. So before we come up into our seated position, we're going to work that side body, starting first on the forearm. If this has any kind of problems with your shoulders, what you're going to do is lay down, think Jane Fonda style, hand supporting the head, and the top upper part of your arm is out underneath of you, okay, for support. I'm going to start here on my forearm. And take one of your dumbbells, just have it out in front of you to grab onto easily. From here, your clams, you open the top knee away from that bottom leg as the bottom leg is still pressing down into the mat. Okay. Once you feel like you've got a handle on the motion, make sure the bottom side of the body, the obliques there, are lifting up. Belly button is still drawing in. I want you to take that dumbbell now and place it behind the knee. Okay, so it looks like this. We're still opening and closing. Now we've just added that resistance. Final 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, tabletop the legs. So meaning rather than the heels being in line with the hips, I want the knees and the hips in line with each other, and then a 90-degree bend from there. You might have to squeeze that dumbbell or your weight a little bit further, and you're lifting and lowering out in front of the hips. Okay, so you're like this rather than out at that side, lifting up and in. Just getting a different kind of muscle fiber to work for you as you lift and lower that glute. Check back in with your shoulder. Make sure you're pressing away from it. Neck is staying long. 3 more. 2 and 1. Now press the leg back. So now the knee is in line with the hip. Bring it up, forward, back, up, forward, back. All right. So if you're like Ricky Bobby, or like how I feel right now is like Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hands. So I want you to take maybe the arm up towards the ceiling, or if you want that added challenge, take the weight up towards the ceiling. And rather than thinking about, okay, gotta think about what my bottom arm is doing. With your top arm, I want you to lift up and press it up towards the ceiling. Give me 2 more in this direction. And 1 more, then switch. Woo. Obliques are still pulling away from the bottom of that mat. Give me 4 more in this direction. Are you still lifting? Reaching that dumbbell up. 2 more. Here's your last one. Bring the legs back down. Good. You can bring your hand back down. I just have to reevaluate, reset my weight there. Okay, so it's now like you have a fence right here on top of that bottom shin. So I want the knee to go down. That's not going to work. Okay, so you're going over this dumbbell. Knee goes down, toe goes down. So you're just rainbowing your leg up and over. Make sure you're still squeezing onto that weight. I feel like I'm about to lose it. 2 more. 1 more. All right, go ahead, put those weights off to the other side. Maybe give yourself a round of applause. Stretch that top leg long and bring yourself up into a forward fold over that leg. Left foot is in towards the right thigh. Just taking that nice lower back hamstring stretch. So now with your left hand, reach to the outside of that outer right foot. Okay, so all of that activation, that energy that was in the left side of the body, we're thinking about opening that up. Okay, so now facing yourself forward towards your knee, I want you to grab onto that knee with your right hand and then reach the arm up and over, trying to grab onto those toes. Good, and it's okay if you're like here, you're still going to get that stretch. Okay. All right, now bring your hands out in front of you, come up into a kneeling position. Your left leg is back behind you, your right toes are facing forward, and you're on the ground there with your hands underneath of you. So take your left hand up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, bring it and weave it through, reaching for that right foot. Inhale to reach back up, making it dynamic. Exhale to reach back through. One more time. And exhale. So here comes a nice inner thigh stretch if you haven't already been feeling it. Now with your right hand, reach up and then turn away from that right foot. 2 more. Really trying to open up through that thoracic spine. Opening, twisting, maybe even coming back behind you. Whatever feels good for that body. All right, then coming into a kneeling position, grab onto both of those weights for a thigh stretch. Reach the arms forward. So from the side, my big toes have touched and my knees are hip distance apart, okay? So I've created like a little triangle base foundation underneath me. Arms reaching forward, inhale back, exhale forward. Glutes are engaged, core is engaged. I'm not leaning back away from the front of the body. No, like I've just ironed out the whole front body. It's staying straight. No wrinkles here. For 2 more. Good. And 1 more. Oh, and you lift yourself back up. Let's place those hands down, dumbbells off to the other side, and reach that left leg long. With that leg out to the side, we're going to take those twists. So now the right arm comes up. Exhale. Bring it towards that left foot. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. 1 more. And twist. Good. Now to the other side. Lengthening the body to find all of that new space after working out through the midsection and the core, especially those obliques, as we get ready to come and do it again on the other side. So think about all of this opportunity for you to stretch as an opportunity for the blood to flow to the area and to take away what no longer serves you, what you no longer need in the body. All right, so now come into your side lying position. Remember, you have your either like Jane Fonda position, head supported by the hand, or your elbow underneath of you. Heels, hips, shoulders pushing away from that bottom shoulder here. Okay, for your clams, no weight needed, and you don't even have to use the weight. But I like to bring my top hand on top of the hip just to make sure that the hips are staying square and still. So sometimes I'll see some people rolling back and forth, and sure, it might look cool. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it does. But it's focusing on what's not moving in Pilates. We're always worried about what is moving, but I want you to think about, okay, core is pulling up, shoulder is pressing down away from the ear, while the side glute, because we're isolating that area, that side glute is working really hard. Take one of your weights, tuck it in towards the back of the leg, keep lifting and lowering. Squeeze it. There we go. Just because my weights are a little tinier, I gotta bring my leg back a little bit more. Final 3, last 2, final 1. Now bring both knees up in front of you, and from there you lift both the knee and the foot off of that bottom leg. Meanwhile, if you want a little bit more burn, a little bit more challenge, reach that top arm up and make sure it's lifting up. If the brain can think about what's lifting instead of like what it's not doing, which should not be dumping, you know, it's more easier to think about, okay, push that weight that's pushing me down, push it back up towards the ceiling rather than just like, okay, let's just hang it out. Start to make those circles. Go back, up, and forward. Still squeezing that weight. 3 more in this direction. Again, keeping those hips stacked. Last one. Now switch. You bring the weight up, back, and down. Okay, just stir in that pot. Your pot is your hip joint. The stir or the spoon is your leg bone. 2 more. 1 more. Take that weight, both of them, out in front and give yourself a round of applause. Oh my goodness. Good. So now take that leg out in front of you and swing it around up into your seated position, reaching over the leg for that hamstring stretch. Okay. Then sit yourself up tall, turn yourself towards the bent knee, left hand to the right leg, and you're reaching up and over. Good. Breathing into that space, holding the pose but not the breath when we're stretching. All right. So now, bringing both legs out, we are now in our seated position. Okay. Plant the feet first. Make sure you have enough mat in front of you and behind you with the hands onto the knees here. Sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, like you just got a gut punch to the belly. Belly button draws in towards the spine. The ribs pull down towards each other and towards the ribs. And the hands can stay on the knees or off of the knees. In this position, reach one arm up, down. Other arm, down. Up, down, up, down. We're going to bring both arms up at the same time here. Next time you reach. Up, down, up, down. Now, as the arms are moving, we're working on shoulder mobility while we work on that core stability. So, as the arms move up and down, I want you to make sure you're not like twerking out through the body here. That just puts excess pressure on the back that we don't need. Meanwhile, if I were to come around and like touch your core, it would be really strong, almost shaking like mine is right here. Good. Reach the right leg long. Grab for the left shin. You can interlace the fingers or rest them on top of the shin there. Can you lift and hover the right leg? Think single leg stretch, but in a seated position. From there, it's going to be a really slow switch to hold yourself up as you pull one knee in and then the other. Keeping the legs lifted, although if you need to, though, the leg can come down to rest onto the mat while the other leg pulls in towards the chest. Okay, so that's your modification there. We got 2 more each side, 2, final 1 each side, 1. Pull both knees in towards the chest. Rest the feet down and kind of just give yourself a little hug. Arching back through the spine, resting the forehead on the top of the thighs or the knees. All right. Now, can we do your double leg stretch in that seated position? If you're having any kind of low back pain or tension, just come down onto your back and do the traditional mat series here. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to pull both knees into the chest, both feet off to the ground. And as you inhale, we'll keep the hands right here. As you inhale, reach the legs away from you. You'll have to C-curve back a little bit. And exhale to pull back in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull. So those hands are just there as like a kind of strap to pull over the legs so they can pull in a little closer towards the chest. We got 3 more. Last one coming up. Last one. Here we go. You're going to hold the legs out long. Hold yourself in this position. Reach the arms long, and can you reach them up overhead as far as you can while maintaining that position? Lower, slow, and controlled back down to the earth. Woo! Take a full body stretch. Maybe sway the legs side to side. Whew. All right. With the feet planted onto the earth, hands down by the hips. Bring 1 dumbbell into each hand as we prepare for a little bit of bridging. So with the bridging first, pinky side of the dumbbells are down, thumb side of the dumbbell is up towards the ceiling. Feet are hip distance apart. Take an inhale. As you exhale, scoop the tailbone round through the low back, almost like you're trying to reach the kneecaps away from you towards the opposite wall. And you'll feel that helping to open up through the chest and the thighs especially. Hip flexors as well. Take an inhale at the top of your bridge. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly lower back down. As you control, you feel the low back releasing because it's reaching further away from the top of the head. Inhale to start. Exhale to scoop up, round through all the way till you're resting on the shoulders. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slow and controlled back down. Now I want you to reach the arms up. If you have those dumbbells, otherwise keep them down onto the ground. To reach the arms up, take an inhale, and as you exhale, scoop the tailbone up and the dumbbells lower back down. As you take your inhale, prepare to start to lift the dumbbells up as you exhale out of your bridge. Inhale to the bottom, exhale. So it's just that oppositional movement through the arms and the hips. Now hold your bridge at the top and bring the arms back up. Give me some bench press movements. So the elbows come out wide to the side. And let's bring awareness to the feet here. So as if your foot was a rectangle, I want you to press down through all four corners of that rectangle, making sure that the pressure is evenly distributed from right to left side as well. The knees are also in line with the hips, not reaching out or in towards each other as you continue to press with those arms. All right, now reaching up, turn the palms in towards each other. As you inhale, open the arms out to the side as low as you can go while maintaining that engagement to pull the arms back up. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to do that same movement now with the hips. So turn back into your bench press arms. You inhale to lower both arms and hips down. So it's a hinge back now. Exhale to press back up. It goes a little faster. Down, up, down, up. Inhale, exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up at the top. We're not done yet. Turn the palms back in towards each other. You open the arms, you lower the hips. We're still in that hinge back position. As you exhale, lift back up over the heart and the hips go high. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hands first. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, slowly control the spine back down. Lower the weights and pull the knees into the chest. Open the knees out wide and kind of like a butterfly or maybe happy baby combo move. So it kind of looks like a butterfly. It kind of looks like you're about to get into that happy baby pose. Just rock yourself side to side as you do. Now come into that happy baby pose. So reaching the thighs outside of the torso, keeping the tailbone heavy and pulling the feet or maybe the ankles or the calves down so the feet are flat like they're about to stomp onto the ceiling. This is just a nice inner thigh opener. Now bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart, and reach the feet down towards the mat. Okay, just feeling those inner thighs soften open. And then reach underneath of those thighs, close the legs like a book. Swing one leg in towards the chest. Other leg goes long, just like our single leg stretch. And then exhale to reach the leg long and slowly roll yourself up. As you roll yourself up, swing the legs around into your plank position. Okay. In this plank pose, toes or knees are on the ground, okay? So either position, though, it's going to be challenging because we're going to be lifting and lowering the knees. So I'd like for you, if you can, to start on your toes. If this is too hard for you to attain, grab a chair so you can be in an elevated plank position. So hands are under the shoulders, toes are out long. I want you to start by dropping one knee and then the other, okay? Kind of like we do like prancing on the foot bar. So as you're going down and back up, notice how the hips are not shifting side to side. 5 more. 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Open the knees, pull back into your child's pose. All right, bring yourself back into that plank position. Both knees dropping down. I like to keep my feet a little bit wider than hip distance. So as the knees go down, this is what not to do, okay? So we don't want to lift and lower the booty. You're going to keep the shoulders shifted over the wrists. And so all you have to do is just bend the knees and lift back up to connect the dots between hips and heels. If this feels like too much, one knee stays down onto the ground as you're lifting and lowering one knee, then switch to the other side. Good. All right. Now, bring that left knee down underneath of the hip. Turn it towards the left side of your mat. Left hand is now in line with that left knee. And this should feel familiar. We were kind of here before on our forearm, though. Okay? So reaching that top arm up towards the ceiling. This is just like our side plank position. I want you to lift the top arm, top leg up, kicking through the heel. So the toes are flexed up towards the shins. Inhale down, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, if you do have that weight or no weight, you can bring the arm to the movement as well. Lower down with the leg, lift back up with the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold at the top, bend the knee in, and I'll place that leg out to the side, Captain Morgan style, okay? So the shin of your leg underneath of you is lined up, the middle of the shin is lined up with the heel of that foot. Take the dumbbell into the other hand. Take your stretch now while bringing your hand down onto the inside of that foot as that dumbbell reaches up. Taking a nice inner thigh stretch, okay? So now your dumbbell, bring it in between both of your hands. We're going to come into some stirring of the pot. Now again, notice what's moving and then tune into what's not moving, okay? So what's not moving is the hips or the legs. Keep them still. Glutes engaged, so they're gently pushing the hips forward as you move the arms back and forth into that stirring pot motion. And because we're stirring the pot, the body kind of wants to move and rotate around with it. Don't let that happen either. Work on that anti-rotational energy. Switch directions. Inhale for one stir. Exhale for the other stir. Good. All right. Now bring the hands right in front of the heart. Now we get to rotate. You turn first towards your leg. Exhale, twist away from it. Inhale, twist. Exhale, twist. Turn, twist. Turn, twist. 3 more. 2. Final. 1. Bring the dumbbell and your hands down to the mat. Okay, so again, similar pose here. Leg is out to the front and shift the hands off to the side. So your right hand is in line with your left knee. Left hand is in line with the mat here. Okay, so you shift the weight over and you start to lift that straight leg off of the mat. Flex through the foot, toes pulled up towards the shin. Woo, words. And then lower that leg back down. So in that position, it was technically a little bit of compensation that we just built up for into the body. So now I want you to feel the difference as you place the left hand in front of the left knee, right hand in front of the mat this time, okay? Now notice how much stronger you have to engage through the core. So belly button lifts up and that leg lifts. You're going to feel it way more in that left oblique this time. 3. Last 2, and final 1. Bring that knee down and step the other leg out to the side. Take that one dumbbell in the hand, okay? From there, reach it up as the right hand comes down to the mat. From there, that left leg lifts up off the mat, lower, lift, lower, lift. There we go. Lower, lift. If you want to, bring the hand in line and in the same kind of movement pattern as the leg. Keeping a slight bend in both of your elbows so you don't have a locked out arm. Supporting yourself with that slightly bent arm position on the right side. For 2 more. And 1 more. Bring the foot down, turn the toes out, Captain Morgan yourself up. Hips are directly over that bottom knee. Both hands here. Stir the pot out in one direction. As you stir, the body does not move, okay? So it's like you're a straight board from knee through the hip, through the shoulders, all the way up to the top of the head. Switch directions. Whew. Last 3, 2, final 1. Now, like you're hugging a beach ball, you inhale, twist towards your knee. Exhale, twist away. Inhale, 2. Exhale, away. 5 more. Last 4. Final 3, 2, and 1. Take that dumbbell into your right hand. Left hand comes down onto the inside of that left foot. And just feel not only a side body opener on that right side, but also now an inner thigh opener on that left thigh. Okay, if that doesn't feel good looking up towards the dumbbell, just look down towards the hands there. Good. All right, then shift the hands forward, extend that leg back out behind you. And as you get into position, remember we want to feel what that compensation pattern feels like. If you already know like what you're thinking about, then start with the right hand in front of the right knee, Otherwise, if you feel like you need a little bit of a beginner challenge point, right hand is in line with the mat as the left hand is in line with the right leg. You lift and lower that leg. So you've kind of added a little bit more tension towards the side hip and the side obliques on that left side rather than the right side. Okay. So do that just for a couple more times, kicking through the heel, pulling the toes up towards the shin, and then bring that foot back down. I want you to shift everybody's hands towards and in front of that left shin. If you feel like it's too close to that leg, then just shift it out. Okay, from there, feel that core engaging a little bit deeper in order to lift and float that leg up. Okay, so now don't think of it as a lift, think of it as a float, because that core is so strongly engaged. For 3 more, last 2, final 1. Bring the knees back underneath of you and sit back onto your heels, okay? So in that sitting position, it's like you've got a big table in front of you with so much dust on it, you just can't help but wipe it off. Okay, so move any kind of props or toys out of the way. And it's not quite a child's pose, but it will feel like one at one point. So I want you first to reach the arms forward. The thighs are touching. The head will not be able to come down towards the ground unless you like kind of like force it down there. But I want you with your right hand to sweep out towards the right side, sweep all that dust off the table and bring it behind you. Okay, reach it back forward. Exhale to sweep the left hand back behind you. Okay, now bring both hands to the right and feel now how that left side of the body can open up a little bit more. Sweep the dust off to the left, right hand and right side, body opening up. Do that a couple more times, kind of just rainbowing the hands side to side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. One more time each side. So that means one more time to the right, because that's the one we started on. One more time to the left. Oh, that feels so good. All right. Last little part here for extension before we end our class. So lower yourself down onto your back. And as you do so, just rest the head heavy. Rest the tops of the feet onto the mat. And rest your palms down with your forehead onto those hands there, okay? So kind of get out any last little shimmies or shakes that you need to. And I want you to feel the kind of bony parts of your hips here. So you have a pubic bone, right where your pubic mound is, and then the 2 bony points on your hips. I want you to make it like a triangle. Push that triangle down into the mat there, okay? So you'll feel a little bit of a lift of the belly off of the mat here. With that lift, can you start to activate through your glutes and lift both legs off of the mat? Inhale to lower back down. Exhale to lift back up. Head, neck, and shoulders are staying on the mat here. Kind of shrug the shoulders away from the ears too. Just a little reminder. And as you exhale, can you also lift the belly button off of the mat? Oh, there we go. So it should be glutes and hamstrings working. Now lower just the left leg so that right leg stays up and lowers down. Like it's the toes are trying to reach out of the hips there for yourself. Now from there, keeping the head down onto the right hand, reach the left arm forward, palm in towards the midline, thumb up towards the ceiling. Now, next time you exhale to lift the right leg, can you also lift the left arm off of the mat there? lifting and lowering, keeping the hips square. So make sure you're not rolling from side to side in order to get that hip up or that leg up. For 2 more. And last one. Good. Now let's bring that left hand underneath of the forehead. Go ahead, reach the right arm out, left leg getting ready to move together, lifting and lowering. As that arm lifts up, make sure it's not just from like the wrist or the elbow, the whole shoulder. Feeling it pull back, staying down away from the ears. 4, 3, final 2, and last one. Good. Now rest the forehead completely onto the mat. With that forehead onto the mat, reach both arms out in front of you. Both toes are still pointing away. Tops of the feet onto the mat there. Get out any other last shimmies and shakes. Now extension should be like, it feels like the low back is opening itself as well. If you feel any kind of pinching, like try slightly tucking the tailbone underneath just a little bit. That might help to neutralize and pull the ribs down a little bit more towards the hips. That'll help to lift the core off of the mat there. Then when you're ready, you lift the legs and the hands, keeping the head down onto the mat and lower back down. Do that 2 more times with the head staying onto the mat. Here's our last one. And then on your last one, lift the head into extension to look towards the top of your mat and lower, slow and controlled back down. Are the hands and the toes still reaching away from you while keeping the shoulders down away from the ears? I know it's a lot to think about. That's why we end on this note. Final 2. And final, hi buddy, final 1. You scared me. All right, pull the hands back in towards the shoulders, towards the chest. And from there, tuck the toes up, squeeze the elbows together, and push up into your tabletop position. And back into a child's pose. Oh yeah, that feels so great. Good. In this last child's pose, I recommend like keeping the toes tucked underneath because there was a lot of toe pointing there. So if you felt any kind of like Charlie horse pulling or starting to come on, keeping those toes tucked underneath might help. And you can reach the arms off to the right side, pressing and suction cupping that left hand down onto the mat. And then off to the right or left side with the right hand reaching off to the mat. Good. And then bring yourself back into tabletop, rounding through a couple times through cat and cow. I like to start first with the tailbone. So notice how the tailbone, as I exhale, initiates the movement to roll through, round through, and arch the back and tuck the chin in towards the chest. Just one more. Tailbone is slowly lifting, is scooping out from underneath of me. And then the top of the head opens up so I can open up that throat and heart space. Good. Tabletop. And then just shift those legs side to side. Alrighty, you guys. That is all the time we have time for with our class today. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll be able to see them later on. And as I said before, you have that playlist to listen to. I highly recommend it as you